Greetings, or what is up, and a very warm welcome to the channel. The sun is shining and the magpie is casting, because again, going outside is for jocks and weirdos. No, but seriously, what happens? I always say a thing next. Let's not restart this one. Let's just roll with it, magpie. Normally, what would happen is I'd restart if I screw up an intro, but you know, whatever. I'm feeling it today. Spawning in the south in this 1 versus 1 battle, it is going to be the forces, which are going to be Wermacht, of AndresTC. My God, this is going so well so far. AndresTC, yay. Who's one of my favorite players to watch, one of my favorite players to cast. He pretty much always plays, or at least very often plays Wermacht. I can't really remember him very well playing any other races, but that's great because Wermacht is his, that's his forte. It's really what he does very well. He always has a very atypical take on the faction. He's always doing unusual things. He's always spicing up builds, and has what I like to. I mean, it's a very idiosyncratic style, is how I would define it. But it's idiosyncratic in a very effective way, and I often see him sort of punching way above his weight and taking wins that look like they might have been losses, and taking out players who you might not necessarily expect him to. Now, speaking of players who you might not necessarily expect him to take out, spawning in the north, playing as the United Kingdom forces, it is going to be none other than Jove, the mighty, fierce, and intimidating player that is Jove. I mean, it's probably absolutely fair to argue that Jove is the best player in Company of Heroes 2, perhaps throughout the course of its history. I mean, he's just a fantastically well-accomplished player, consistently insanely high, if not #1 on the leaderboard, with all of the factions in the game, taking down tournaments, kicking ass, chewing bubblegum. You know, he's just like a fantastically good player. So we can rightly expect some high caliber play out of this game. We can rightly expect that this game should showcase some of the top tier plays in the game, which is going to be super interesting because this is going to be probably the highest caliber, the highest tier of game that I've cast since the Winter Balance patch came out. That's right, yay, the Winter Balance patch now with us. For those of you who are not au fait with the changes in that patch, do head on across to the Company of Heroes 2 forums if you like and read up on those patch notes. They are quite lengthy. I won't go through them in detail now. There's a lot of changes to all the factions, and of course some changes to the underlying mechanics across all the factions there as well. So always worth a look if you like Company of Heroes 2 and if you want to keep up with the changes to the game, because it's safe to say that Winter Balance patch, quite a big change to the game. Now, let's turn our attention to the game that's unfolding in front of us right now. AndresTC delaying his infantry company for a little while there, going to be churning out 2 squads of MG42s, which have taken up pretty important buildings on the map right now, so he's going to be locking down, playing a pretty typical Wermacht sort of style here, the older defensive MG42 opener. Looks like he's got 2 squads Pioneers, and the first squad of Grenadiers just moving out onto the field now to complement that starter. We've got some shots being fired at long last. This has been nearly 3 minutes without any bullets being fired, so quite a quiet game so far. Jove running into an MG42 just for a split second there, I think. Yeah, I think he was just taking some fire from this MG42. Looks like the Tommy's going to get out from under that. 3 squads Tommies. Looks like he's going for a Universal Carrier. This is a little bit of a delayed Universal Carrier to what we're used to seeing. This is going to be pretty interesting. Vickers gun in a trench as well, deployed near the back. Somewhere around here. Where are they? Just bear with me a second. I want to find my hard copy of the patch notes. I know it's around here somewhere. Here we go. Sorry, I just want to. This will be the first game I've cast that involves British forces. Whoopsie! Since the patch came out, looks like we've got a fight going to be taken down on the bridge here in mid. MG42's churning into a very nice crossfire. Actually, we've got one of them here on the right, another one over here in the building on the left. So these Tommies kind of getting shredded up. Meanwhile, though, Vickers to the north pouring some fire, and so the Grenadiers have to get a GTFO at their earliest convenience here. That they will. Andre going to stay for damage with these Pioneers, which are in negative cover. Actually forces the fallback there, so that's pretty awesome. MG42 going to be looking for some additional model wipes on this squad. Gets 1 Tommy, could get a second, no, probably not. And so a good fight there from both players. I kind of feel like Jove just came out slightly with the upper hand. I mean, it was 1 squad falling back on each side. I suppose Tommies are worth more than Pioneers, so actually maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that was AndresTC who came out ahead on that one. Sorry, just bear with me. I'm still like flicking through these notes trying to find the British forces section. Here we go. So, a lot of changes to the AEC. Looks like... Okay, so no changes to the Universal Carrier. That's sweet. Oh yeah, massive changes to Piats as well. We'll go over those as and when Piats become a thing in this game. Looks like the Vickers K upgrade going to be coming up. That's going to be the tech of choice here for Jove and the Universal Carrier. Let's just take a look at some action here in the west. Some Tommy's going to be trying to grab a point, but I have to say, I'm really loving the spacing on the MG42s here from Andre. This is clearly a build that he's well-versed, well-practiced with on this map. He knows exactly where to put these MG42s, where he's going to get great coverage. S-minefield here as well, actually. Didn't see that. Oh, going to grab a Tommy in the S-minefield on the way back there. Very nice here. So Andre, you know, putting together some spicy, pretty atypical plays. This is exactly what I come to expect from him. So anyway, well, the Universal Carrier as well, also going to be taking some fire. Combat over in the east here. A couple of squads of Grenadiers have some Tommies. The Tommies are in heavy cover, but this many Grenadiers is just too much. MG42 going to get set up with the Tommies in arc, and actually Jove's going to have to fall this squad back pretty quickly. I'm sure he's on top of it, but they can't stay here. They really can't stay here. There we go, and they're going to get out of there. Just staying for the absolute utmost damage. These Grenadiers likewise going to have to get out. They're going to stay for the Faust, and then I imagine the fallback will come down. There's a Vickers back here in a beautiful position. MG42 and Vickers going to have a fight here, but that's usually going to favour the British MG. The Vickers, of course, pretty damn powerful. Possibility for a rifle grenade, actually, here, as these Grenadiers going to be coming in for the flank. In the west of the map, there's pretty much nothing going on, so all the fighting, pretty much both players' attention focused on this engagement here. And I got to say, I'm pretty impressed with AndresTC. You know, there was a Vickers, a squad of Tommies, there was the Universal Carrier with the Vickers upgrade in that fight. And actually, Andre was able to marshal things really well, forced the Tommies back, got the Vickers out of there, got a Faust onto the AEC, and if you... Whoa, he gets the... sorry, not the AEC, onto the Universal Carrier. And, oh my god, now he takes some Stormtroopers out of this building, going for Elite Troops Doctrine. He's actually putting on a ton of pressure on the cutoff point here. And if Andre... Well, he does get the cutoff decaptured, so now Jove is actually in a really bad way. He has nearly no map control. Okay, Andre has to be careful of these Pioneers. They're taking a lot of fire here. But yeah, Jove has nearly no map control. A lot of his units have had to fall back. There's going to be a lot of manpower he's going to have to spend on reinforcing these expensive Tommies, which luckily, actually, that's a resource he has right now. He's floating quite a lot. Like to see him spend some of those resources. Oh, turbo risky here. Pioneer's going to stay to set up an S-minefield. There we go. They're going to bail on that one. But fantastic early game exchange here from Andre. Now, worth saying, one advantage Jove does have, which could be crucial at the higher levels of play, it's more and more important, is the scoreline. Leading as he is by 88 tickets right now. So that's a nice lead to have, despite all this ground and despite the cutoff being taken by AndresTC. He hasn't actually been able to marshal the victory points, so there's basically been a 2-0 cap going on this whole time. And that has actually bled Andre down, like, quite a lot, given that we're only coming up to, like, the 7.5 minute mark here. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. As Wermacht is wont to do, he's had to fall back a lot of his squads here, and sometimes you just have to do that with Wermacht. There's no forward fallback options. You don't really use half-tracks, which, by the way, have been improved, so I'd like to see half-tracks used. But anyway, so sometimes you just have to fall back all your squads, and you kind of have this, like, sine wave of map control occasionally, you know, where sometimes all your squads are out there kicking ass, and then you know, they all have to fall back. Reinforce, repair, rearm, heal, all of that kind of stuff. And we're just seeing one of these natural ebbs and flows right now. So Andre's map control, map presence, pretty much heavily reduced right now. He's even going to have to wait for medics because some of these squads pretty scuffed up from the combat. Looks like Panzer Shrek upgrade has come down on the Stormtroopers. Jove yet to pick a commander. Hard to tell exactly what he's angling for right now. I like the way he always keeps about a squad's worth of manpower, like floating as well, actually. I think with UKF, and probably only with UKF, I really quite like that. But anyway. MG42 here doing its best against a couple of squads of Tommies. Should be able to get into this building before the Tommies. Yeah, just about. Super annoying for Jove. That means this MG42 is going to take a lot of time and possibly be able to put some extra damage onto these Tommies. It's going to take a lot of time to force that one out of there. Squad of Pioneers here for AndresTC, going to be crucially grabbing the fuel on the left flank. That double cap, though, still ticking away. Andre down to 372 now, still losing 2 tickets per tick, and he really just needs... If he could just grab 1 point, then it would make a huge difference here. He really needs to get on that. Stun grenade going to come down here. Sneaky Grenadiers. Which actually, Grenadiers have had a significant survivability buff in this winter balance patch. Apparently it's massive, and Wermacht players are actually kind of reveling in that a little bit. MG42 here, turbo low, could be a first squad wipe really, or like first big squad wipe here. MG42 is going to get out of the building. No focus fire from Jove, so that one's probably going to be able to sneak away. Meanwhile, a fight being taken in mid as well. AndresTC poking in with the Flamer Pioneers and the Grenadiers here, going to be able to repulse these Tommies and the Royal Engineers. Let's take a look at the tech here for Jove. So obviously he has the platoon command post and no sign of company command post yet. He does have the fuel and the manpower, but he doesn't have the fuel and the manpower for choice once that tech is online. And like all the best players, he's going to wait until he has that so that he can you know, make use of the tech as soon as it's researched. 6-pounder going to be out on the field, just making sure he's not going to fall victim to, I don't know, some kind of a 222 or even a fast Panzer IV or something like that. AndresTC kind of miles away on both of those, to be honest. interesting, like, it is super interesting to me that Andre has not constructed his leichte mechanized company. I mean, what if Jove went for an AEC? Doesn't he just die? I suppose he's got Shrek on the stormtroopers, but that is quite a lot. That represents a ton of faith in that Panzer Shrek that AndresTC just doesn't go for the leichte mechanized company. You know, if you can't build pack guns, sometimes as Wermacht you just die. Like, if you can't afford the pack gun, sometimes if the pack gun isn't even done in time, you just die. Like, it does happen. You know, T-70s are absolutely real. So are like Stuarts. You know, all of the allied factions have quite a spicy light vehicle that they can really punish you with if you don't have some hard AT around about this time. And for me, I think, you know, that this one Panzer Shrek may not be enough. Anyway, there is a second squad of stormtroopers now on the field. They're going to be adding their weight of fire in here, so maybe the plan is to get them a Shrek a bit later, and then I don't mind the position here so much for AndresTC. Oh, these Royal Engineers getting chewed up. We've got a big fight being taken here. Combat in mid here as stormtroopers going to be trying to take the bridge. Also combat over here in the west. Interesting fight. Vickers guns get set up in an okay position, but there's a massive flank of Grenadiers. Flamer Pioneers likewise coming in. Looks like the Vickers gun has repositioned now, so I imagine all of these units are going to have to fall back. They are kind of not in any kind of good cover. The Vickers gun does masses of damage. Stormtrooper's going to run in. Is this an attempt at a grenade? What have they got? Do they have the bundle charge? Yeah, they do have the bundle grenade. So, okay, here comes the bundle grenade. It's on a falling back Vickers. That's kind of a waste. The fallback there just in the nick of time there. And now Commando's going to be coming out. So Jove has gone ahead and chosen his commando. His commander. It's the Mobile Assault Regiment here. And these spicy Irish lads here are going to be dealing a ton of DPS. They are still really, really decent. Even against units in buildings. Look at that. But look at the map, you know, this is the story. Triple cap established by AndresTC. He has been able at last to marshal the VPs. Map control basically been favoring him this whole game, so he is reveling in the resources right now. Let's just check the tech. No more tech forthcoming. God, Andre plays such a weird game. No life the mechanized company is just, I just don't understand. Wouldn't he have just died to an AEC? Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, maybe, he has 2 Shreks on stormtroopers, but I feel like as the British player, you can micro around that, like, and still do well with an AEC. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. And, yeah. Well, after that last wave of combat, I mean, Jove has the tools now to be able to start breaking out of this lock. The commandos actually do quite a lot of work against MG42s. Oh, which there are 2 of on this flank, though. Oh, this is so brutal. I have to say, this is just AndresTC putting together what looks like a splendid game from the Wermacht side of, like, point of view. You know, he's just using all the units correctly, doing cool things. Just this is how I like to see Wermacht played. It's pretty cool. And Jove, I suppose, doing a sterling job of, you know, playing a really defensive British game. I like the way he bought the 6-pounder, even though it's been useless. I think that you have to buy that 6-pounder, or else, like I say, you could just die to some kind of vehicular play out of AndresTC. What a treat, you know. I had no idea that 2 high-caliber players like this would be on when I just clicked on for a random cast just now, so... That's what I like about Company of Heroes 2, like, because almost no other RTS has a just watch a game feature, you know? You have to go and find the replays and things, and I'm, let's not say lazy, but I'm disinclined to expend much effort finding replays, especially because replays are always uploaded for a reason, which kind of biases, like, the nature of the game. I like to just watch games on the ladder, like, see the game, see the meta game, see what players are actually doing in real time, and Company of Heroes 2 is, like, one of the only RTSs that lets you do that. I wish they'd add that functionality to, like, StarCraft 2. That would make me so happy. Anyway, let's just check the tech here for Andre. Okay, so he is going to Battle Phase 2 now, so I'm imagining we're going to see the support armor core. Yep, here it comes. Alright, so support armor core, and he has, like, enough fuel to have his, you know, he can take whatever pick he wants out of that building. The fact that he's building that building means that he does want to pick, so, I mean, maybe it's going to be... Panzer IV seems reasonable. It's not great. It's never great, to be honest. I think Panzer IVs just aren't great units in general, but I mean, they're okay. Ostwind seems questionable. I mean, it's effective against all these units, but I don't know, just putting all of your fuel into something which you're already quite good against. I mean, he needs an anti-vehicle option. That's my opinion. So the Panzer IV is the one that shines here. Or actually, if AndresTC is going to buy 2 Stugs, that would make me really happy, because then he could have a Stug on each flank. The Stugs are useful against infantry, and they're also really spicy against armor, with good micro, with forward infantry, which you know, AndresTC has both. Oh, nearly a squad wipe on these Tommies there. Rifle grenade coming through nicely for Andre. But yeah, I think I like 2 Stugs. I think that's the choice I like best. 2 Stugs and then save for Tiger Ace. He also has Pan's Attack, which makes, you know, which is really useful on Stugs as well. If they get flanked, you can obviously pop that and then get them out of there. So that would be my choice, I suppose. But, I mean, we're going to see. I imagine it'll be Panzer IV, all things considered. He's saving some manpower right now. If it was Stugs, he could have taken it. So let's see. The 350 manpower is in, and are we going to see a Panzer IV on the... Oh! Really nice bundle grenade there. Sorry, a gammon bomb there. Going to take out an MG42. So Andre here beginning to hemorrhage a unit there. Man, commandos are really good. I just like commandos. They're just awesome. But hopefully, you know, the British forces weren't able to grab that MG42. There are some grenadiers in the hood. Looks like they're moving to recrew. And that, to me, makes a lot of sense. Panzer IV is going to be the choice here for AndresTC. So support armor core was built with that in mind. And that's going to be the medium tank here that's going to be on the way. Company command post has finished, though, for Jove. And he has, like, reasonable amounts of fuel. So this Panzer IV is going to have the field to itself in terms of vehicles for a while. But then we could see a Cromwell, and I just always think a Cromwell beats a Panzer IV. It's not always the case, but I mean, that tank commander upgrade makes such a huge difference. Anyway, Jove pushing pretty hard here in the west. We've got one squad Tommies, we've got a Vickers gun, we've got some Royal Engineers coming in. MG42 doing a good job of keeping that at bay for a moment here, but now going to have to fall back. These Grenadiers and these Pioneers probably won't be able to do much in the face of this Vickers, which means that the west of the map here, if Jove wants it, he could start grabbing a couple of points over here. Panzer IV going to arrive around about just now. Oh, I'm just a second too early. Alright, here we go, Panzer IV. And nice camo on that one. So we do have the first medium armor on the field. Jove's only real anti-tank is this 6-pounder. So this Panzer IV is probably good for a while. You have to be quite clumsy to lose a Panzer IV to like one 6-pounder and like nearly no other anti-vehicular force like out of this British roster. So this Panzer IV for now should be good. Has anyone else noticed the lack of engine tone from this Panzer IV? All I can hear is the wheels on the floor and no engine tone. Interesting. Anyway, so it looks like the Panzer IV going to deploy into the west flank. That makes a lot of sense, seeing as how Jove was being very aggressive just now. The Panzer IV also represents a good answer for the MG42, which has been being bothersome on this flank. 6-pounder, 2 6-pounders are actually here. Sorry, wow, 2 6-pounders. That is actually risky times. Panzer IV going to scurry back. Oh my God, will it die? Ugh! I think it dies in 4 6-pounder hits, and it's taken 3 now. So, okay, arrives, gets itself like 25% of a bar of veterancy, kills 1 infantryman, and then has to fall back and is going to spend quite a long time repairing. So I have to feel Andre being a touch over aggressive there with the Panzer. We could see land mattresses actually. Would a land mattress be a good choice on this board? I actually think it kind of would be. Rifle grenade going to come down here, forces the Tommies back. We've also got combat going on over in the east of the map. A couple of squads of British forces doing pretty well, actually. Going to be grabbing the fuel, going to be grabbing the capture point. So Andre being pushed back little bit by little bit here, and a Cromwell is going to be the fuel tech of choice here for Jove. And for my money, I mean, the Cromwell is just a better medium than the Panzer IV. I just always get more done with a Cromwell. It's just awesome. I think Cromwells are really great, basically. They feel great to micro, and the fact that they're cheaper than a Panzer IV also makes me sort of smile quite a lot on the inside when I play as UKF. Also, like, if you can get a Cromwell into the rear armor of a Panther, usually that Panther is dead, and that feels so good. Like, the amount of Panthers I brought down through the rear armor with Cromwells is quite high, and it's just an intensely good feeling when you get that done. Where this Panzer IV going to commit over here into the west. Looks like the 6-pounders are stalking over. Jove knows all about this this transition on the medium armor here. I think the Panzer IV probably goes down here. Another Panzer IV on the queue. He's gonna if he retreats on this line, he's fine. If he retreats over here, the 6-pounder's gonna get him. Pioneers are in the hood though, so he sees the 6-pounders and he backs up immediately. AndresTC immediately paying attention to his most expensive unit, gonna micro it out of the way, out of harm's way. That could have been really close there. But Andre just had the infantry in the right place to spot the anti-tank guns, and he's going to save the Panzer IV for now. And he's also actually taking advantage of the fact that Jove has committed most of his forces away from the west. So AndresTC going to be shoring up that area of the map, grabs the VP back, going to grab the Muni point in just a second. Cromwell reveals itself here. So Andre knows the nature of the beast, but he... Oh, whoa, the Panzer IV did go down. What the... Was that to... Okay, wow, the Panzer... I'm pretty sure... Did that actually just go down to these... No, okay, it didn't go down to the... okay, so the commandos got promoted right when that Panzer IV detonated, so I thought maybe somehow they destroyed it with like a light gammon bomb or something, but that's not the case. It was indeed one of these 6-pounders will have a kill on it. There it is, vehicle kill. No, it's an infantry kill, okay. What about this one? Yeah, vehicle's destroyed one, so 6-pounder there. Gonna take out that Panzer IV. Massive shame for AndresTC. Definitely not efficient was that first Panzer IV at all. And I think clearly the plan here was to end up with a brace of Panzer IVs. And 2 Panzer IVs is actually really good. I like 2 Panzer IVs a lot. But now he just has the 1. And he's, you know, reasonably low on manpower. He has some fuel, but he probably wants to start thinking about saving... oh, of course, no. The Tiger Ace doesn't take fuel, does it? Well, with that in mind, he may go for just another Panzer IV here in a second. He does have the fuel for that. I almost never play Tiger Ace Commander. Like, I just never play this guy. It's just not for me. So I forget sometimes that the Tiger Ace doesn't cost fuel.
Extra firepower is now available for units.
Extra firepower is now available. So weapon racks have been done. Curiously, no 5-man squad upgrade. I'd like to see that come down soon here for Jove.
A capture point is being overrun.
Looks like UKF now forces beginning to push in the west. MG42 gets caught out of position here. Going to get Flammenwerfered away. And that opens up the west. Panzer IV is going to transition across. Quite a lot of supporting infantry here too. Do we have the pintle-mounted MG42? No, not yet for AndresTC, which incidentally, the first Panzer IV did have that, so that was like another 60 munitions lost when that Panzer IV died. Grenadiers as well, taking a pretty spicy fight, supported by an MG42 over in the east over here. So, back and forth plays here. Definitely back and forth plays. I haven't addressed the victory point situation for a long time. This last sort of, like, I don't know, probably 10 or 11 minutes of, like, field domination from AndresTC has eaten into the VPs of Jove. He finds himself down at 208 under 313. So, Jove actually, the pressure is on him. The pressure is on him. But Andre putting up such a good showing, I have to say, against the player who is probably, in my mind, like, the best Company of Heroes 2 player of all time. So, and he is going to go for a third Panzer IV. I have to say, I just like the way AndresTC is handling this game. If this game ends in the next, like, 14 minutes, then I think it will be AndresTC winning it. If he can close this game out, I think it's going to be great. If the game goes on too long, I just think Jove is just too good. I think he has too much skill. I think British units scale a lot better into the late game, generally speaking. So I think AndresTC wants to close this game out. If he can whittle this 205 down to, like, precariously low amounts over the course of the next, like, 10 to 13 minutes, I think he'll be okay. That's like the Magpie prediction. That's how I feel this game going right now. But if he hemorrhages a load of infantry squads or loses attention for a split second, then, you know, he's playing as Wermacht. He'll die. You know, that's just how it goes down. So, okay, so he has the double cap. He has some infantry forces looking after west. East is actually empty right now, but Jove has no troops in the area, so that's okay. Maybe some commandos coming out. Gonna grab the bridge in mid as well, so applying fantastic objective pressure here as AndresTC. That's really nicely done. That, for me, has to be his primary route to victory right now. I think that has to be his #1 job, is looking after those things. Oh, stun grenade comes down. Very nice. These stormtroopers just throwing a stun grenade, and then, like, they're still on hold fire. So cheeky. They're going to do their best here. These Tommies also doing their best. The MG42 is it out of range? Why is it not firing at these guys? Does it not have line of sight? That's so bizarre. Okay, oh, sorry. He was just reloading. Right, I'm with you now. Bren guns now on the Tommies, though, so they are kicking pretty hard. These 4-man squads of Axis troops are getting absolutely hewn down, really. There is also heavy cover here. Some sandbags have been placed, so Jove doing a real good job of taking the bridge there. 1 Panzer IV in the west, 1 Panzer IV in the east, so I like the split on the Panzer IVs, taxing the anti-tank resources of the British player. Also making it hard for this Cromwell to commit itself without leaving itself exposed to a spit roast, because the Panzer IVs can just, like, you know, scissor in and converge on it, and then this Cromwell's in a horrible spot. I think Cromwells are better than Panzer IVs, but when there's 2 Panzer IVs and, you know, they're spit roasting you, that Cromwell's pretty toasty. So, Magpie 842 stating the obvious since 1987. So let's take a look at the attack here. Whilst I mean, this is just look how sophisticated these two players are. Their army, their, like, force dispositions, their force placement, their force compositions, like, just so good, making for a turbo interesting and sophisticated sort of mid to late game that we're just seeing right now. Or I should say late mid-game, and a Panzer IV goes down. It's abandoned. The 2 6-pounders proving their worth again. Panzer IV's so fragile in the face of these AT guns. They really, really can't take much fire. Now the Cromwell can feel like maybe being a bit aggressive, because it is supported by the 6-pounders. Pioneers are going to get back in the Panzer IV, but that engine is destroyed, so the Axis medium here going to be forced to scurry for its life. 6-pounders scoring more hits across the middle bridge. Sounds like a Vickers gun was just now taken out, as exactly it was. Oh man, if it was just facing this way, I mean, why would it ever be facing that way? But if it was facing that way, that would have been an epic recrew there by AndresTC. But he's going to grab some British hardware. Looks like the second Panzer IV going to go down as well. And your caster Magpie 842 cannot get a tank kill on camera to save his life. But that Panzer IV goes down there, 6-pounders in the Cromwell. And this now represents a pretty big opening for Jove. The Cromwell's going to get turbo brave. He knows that there's a Panzer IV out here in the fog of war. He finds it. He destroys it, but it's only abandoned again. Oh my god, so he's going to have to stay for another shot here. And the Shreks are going to get the Cromwell. Does he get one last shot? One last shot into the... Oh no, does he die? He just... Oh my... I wonder, if you're out of control and you tell your vehicle to force fire onto a wreck, will it take the shot? That was some crazy, crazy rare events happening in that fight. A Panzer IV gets abandoned twice. The Cromwell comes in turbo deep, gets Shrek'd to death, and gets cheated out of the last shot by like microseconds. That was actually crazy. And there's another Panzer IV on the build queue. So if Andre can just repair this Panzer IV and get it back into being battle worthy, I mean, look at this burning wreck. But I mean, apparently it is repairable. Then he'll be up he'll be up on 2 medium tanks to his opponent's none. Jove has some fuel. He can take a pick. He's not going for a Cromwell yet, which makes me think he might be saving for a Firefly. And if he is, I kind of think that that's the right call. I mean, the drawback is he bleeds out more on tickets because the Firefly he has to save for longer and it takes longer to arrive. But I mean, his opponent's going to have 2 Panzer IVs, so I kind of like the pick of the. I kind of like the Firefly. Also, the Firefly gives you a reasonable amount of insurance against the Tiger Ace. And if you're Jove, you don't know how much manpower AndresTC realistically has at this point, but you have to know that he's getting close to having enough CPs to bring in the big cat. Still got a Panzer IV parked over here in the west. Looks like that's where the new Panzer IV has gone to. He's repaired and recrewed the old Panzer IV, so that one's back online. So 2 medium tanks now for the Axis player. Vickers gun and Panzer IV providing quite the brick wall for Jove's advances in the west. That VP is locked down. Mid VP looks like Jove's going to be pushing in now. Tommies and 2 6-pounders here. Really annoying stormtroopers here. Just going to be doing the stuns and just trying to play for as much time on this middle bridge as possible. Meanwhile, the eastern point finally gets taken by Jove, who's down at 127 under 305. So much pressure on him right now. He has to be aggressive. He has to hold the middle line of this map. The 6-pounders are in a good position though. Panzer IV kind of a little bit out of position here, and the 6-pounder's probably going to get a shot. I can't believe that anti-tank gun didn't shoot. Wow. And I have to say, AndresTC, pardon me. Oh, my voice. Is just doing a really good job right now of just keeping Jove back. He's just keeping Jove constantly off balance, using the 2 Panzer IVs, keeping them spread out, always poking, just looking after the VPs. I really like the style from AndresTC. It's like I said earlier, his most important job right now is just looking after these VPs, and as far as I can tell, he's just doing that so efficiently. Whoa, this Panzer IV though being so aggressive. You just have no fear, do you, Andre? He just doesn't seem to mind lobbing these tanks in. You're going to use Panzer attack and sneak on back here. But exposing that Panzer IV to a lot of fire just to whittle down some Tommies a little bit. Whoa, these Grenadiers also getting turbo low. He's going to have to be careful. Firefly is the tech of choice for Jove, so we are going to have the late-game tank hunter on the field here. And, I mean, a Firefly, well microed, of course, will make these Panzer IVs look a little bit foolish. I mean, the Firefly can only be in one place at one time, and the turret does not rotate super fast on that unit. But as long as Jove doesn't leave it too exposed, that Firefly should be able to keep these Panzer IVs down. If he just keeps it in mid and sort of pokes it left and right as needed, that's probably going to be the play here. But Andre, again, taking care of business, goes straight back after this capture point that Jove was only able to hold on to for, maybe 90 seconds tops. Bridge still under control. West still under control. 111 tickets remaining now for AndresTC, bleeding at 2 per tick, soon going to be under a triple cap. And this has just been a really good game from Andre, who I imagine right now, all he's trying to do is stack manpower so he can call in that Tiger Race. And I think if the Tiger Race hits the field, I mean, that is basically GG right now. So Jove just is being eaten at from so many angles. He has to capture the middle line of the map. He has to look after his units. And he kind of also has to inflict enough damage onto Andre's units that this Tiger Race just gets delayed enough that it never arrives. And Jove may not even realize that final objective is there, although a player of his caliber, a player of his experience, I would imagine that is, on his mind. Let's see, I imagine we have the tank commander. Yeah, tank commander is done on the Firefly. There is a Panzer IV just kind of like, are you really going to be reversing this way? Where are you going, Panzer IV? Okay, there we go. So yeah, Tank Commander is done. No sign of the rockets yet, the tulips, but I mean, Jove doesn't, he's not exactly swimming in munitions, so that's why. Double cap now. 75 points remaining. Those commandos did just reveal themselves for a split second. You can see Andre here doing a little bit of attack ground here to try and guess where they are. Remember, of course, commandos pretty much invisible as long as they're in cover, so I think Andre realizes that they're lurking. MG42 is set up in a nice position, but actually these commandos could like leapfrog from cover to cover and get a grenade onto these guys. It could happen.
An engineer unit is ready for action.
Panzer IV going to push into mid here, takes a shot onto the 6-pounder, gets hit by the 6-pounder. Firefly going to transition into a place where it might be able to catch a lucky shot. Stormtroopers actually coming on in with the Shreks. So this Firefly, a little exposed perhaps. Actually no, here comes some commandos and that should be enough. Oh, the commandos are just on attack move though. What they really want to do is come on in and close the distance, I think. Invisi Commando is going to try and grab the Western VP here for Jove, which is going to be super crucial, and the Panzer IV isn't here to guard it anymore.
Enemy threatening a capture point.
Jove also pushing Tommies onto mid, gets rid of the Stormtroopers who were there, actually. I think those Stormtroopers got rid of ages ago, but anyway, procasting back there. MG42 gets cut down in the open here. That's going to be a squad wipe there for Andre, but not the worst unit he could lose right now. But Jove making the magic happen. I can't believe he's actually getting this cap off in West. That's fantastic. Panzer IV is going to transition back across to try and police this, but Jove does have the cap. He's going to get the middle bridge as well. Andre taking east. 60 tickets remaining for Jove. This is so clutch. 470 manpower out of the required 800 has been stacked up now by AndresTC. Oh wow, these Pioneers aren't repairing. I hope AndresTC catches that soon. Possibly just a misclick. He might have put them near the Panzer IV instead of actually clicking on it. Okay, there we go. Oh, no, they're just going to ignore it. Who needs repaired Panzer IVs anyway? This Panzer IV in the west actually getting picked down by a 6-pounder. Going to use a Panzer attack and then fall back. The Firefly transitions across. This game's just on a knife edge. It is actually on a knife edge. Usually when I'm casting, I like to try and tell a story and like narrate the battle that's going on rather than just talking about what's on the screen and like saying what's happening. Good shot from the Firefly, brings down the Panzer IV in the west. But right now this game is so close, it's so on a knife's edge that it is all these little things that are actually being the deciding variables. Like that is how this game is being decided. So that's why I'm just I'm commenting on every little exchange that's going down. This Panzer IV for sure is in such a terrible position. It's been flanked by a 6-pounder. The Firefly is transitioning across. Nice Shrek actually getting into a great position. Does get a dink onto the Firefly. Now the Panzer IV needs to back up. Surely he sees it. Yeah, Panzer attack comes down. That is just clutch. That's just clutch, and this Panzer IV is able to get out of there, having forced all of Jove's 80 resources to relocate. That enables some Pioneers, actually, to get a sneaky cap on West, which means that Jove back under the clock. He's dying to a double cap. Soon to be a triple cap, maybe. As Storm Pioneers attempting to take the bridge here in mid. Stun grenades just being so useful for Andre this game. Here comes some more Grenadiers coming in with the G43. He's going to try and get some additional fire support onto this point. The Firefly as well. The micro here from AndresTC getting these Shreks to consistently hit the Firefly. Doing really well. AndresTC just in fine form here. Tiger Ace is an option now. The button is available and it is clicked. The big cat now rolling onto the field. Probably only seconds left in this game unless Jove can take a VP. His unit roster is strained. His resources are drained. And this is going to be super hard for him to make a comeback. There is a Cromwell coming, and I think it's going to arrive in time to have an impact on this game. Maybe? I don't know, actually. That's probably going to be just too slow. And I think AndresTC has done it. I actually just think he's done it on the back of a load of Panzer IVs and some epic decisions when it comes to unit choices, unit equipment choices, commander choice, and most importantly, I think for AndresTC was his unit positioning. His choices of whether to deploy units onto the left flank, the right flank, or to the central bridge just has been so good. Making use of all of the abilities of this commander, the stun grenades being awesome, the G43s providing a lot of veterancy and useful and utility onto his grenadiers. You know, the stormtroopers, 2 squads thereof this game, neither of them ever getting wiped out. The Panzer Shreks actually circumventing the need to get like the mechanized company, and AndresTC once again with an idiosyncratic take on Wermacht teching, gonna take a superb victory over a player who like is just, you know, like I say, I actually think Jove is the best player in the game, just throughout the history of the game, definitely. Just a historic, monolithic monster of the game. And to see AndresTC taking him down here, you know, by a 293 ticket margin, I mean, there are a couple of close moments in this game, but I think AndresTC, that game felt like it was about 70-30 in his hands. You know, he felt like he was dictating the pace, making the plays, you know, keeping Jove under pressure. You know, there weren't many times in that game where I felt like Jove was able to flex his muscles and get out on the map and, you know, and take some fights on his terms. So a fantastic fight there from AndresTC. What can I say? I'm hyped. That was just, it's really good to see him still on the ladder. It's really good to see him, you know, his skill just keeps going up and up and up. I don't know what he's like with the other factions, but watching him play with Wermacht actually just excites me. It's just so cool to see the way he does things, to see his completely different understanding of the faction. Or maybe I'm just way out of touch. Maybe this is meta at the moment. But, I mean, for me, AndresTC always just brings interesting, spicy builds. Win or lose, I do enjoy watching him play. For Jove, well, I think this was a good game, generally speaking. I feel like most of his early fights were kind of okay. I think that the 2 MG42 opening, having 1 MG42 in this building, 1 MG42 in this building, I mean, yes, that's textbook Wermacht plays, but it was actually really annoying for Jove, and it basically set the pace of this game because he wasn't able to keep up in resources in the early game. AndresTC was even able to poke through and get a cap here, which put him even further on resources by grabbing this cutoff point. And Jove just one step behind, I think, this whole game. Just like I'm struggling, I'm racking my brains, and I'm trying to find something like a genuine criticism where I could be like, well, you know, Jove could have done this better, or perhaps if Jove had tried this, then he would have, you know, done, you know, then the outcome of this game could have been different. But I'm racking my brains. British UKF is a hard faction to play because all of your units are super expensive and you don't get to make as many choices when it comes to buying units as other factions. But I really can't see that any of the things that he bought were incorrect. Maybe 2 squads of commandos was a bit much. I didn't see the commandos being turbo useful this game, but they did help him cap points, and they did get a squad wipe or 2, one with a sweet gammon bomb. Maybe 2 squads of commandos, not so great. Maybe instead of one of these squads of commandos, if he'd have put that money into a land mattress, that would have been a different angle of attack, a different way of applying pressure onto AndresTC. It would have changed the pace of the game. So I guess the Magpie's advice in this circumstance would be, instead of the second squad of commandos, possibly go for the land mattress instead. Because I just think this whole game he was just one step behind Andre. So in order to like shake things up, he needs to, you know, diversify his roster or try a different angle of attack. And I think the land mattress could have been sweet for that. So I don't know. Interested to see your comments, everyone who watched this game, because I don't know, just always interesting to get other people's feedback on it. Anyway, enough waffling on. Fantastic game there, really a pleasure to cast, and I'll be bringing more to you guys over the coming week. I've got a little bit of time for casting, so that should be sweet. So do indeed stay tuned to the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and this for now is Magpie842 signing out.